Now it's time for our featured story of the night. And speaking of projects that aren't James Gunn's but are still existing, I want to talk about Shazam for a second. Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Yes, that is coming out here. And the new trailer actually dropped today. So everyone's kind of been talking about it on the internet. It's bigger and better. You got Zachary Levi back again as Shazam. And now you have all the kids and him dealing with who? Well, dealing with the Daughters of Atlas. They're coming in. Helen Mirren's coming, which I think is awesome. I mean, she's phenomenal. I'm like, every time I see her in something, I'm like, fuck yeah, kick some ass, Helen Mirren. I don't care how old you are. Keep kicking people's ass. Yeah, Lucy Liu coming in. Like, it's got a great cast, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I saw the trailer, and it looks great. It looks better than the first trailer, I would say. You're jumping right into a lot of action. You got Shazam fighting a dragon. It's coming out March 17th. And this is, again, one of those projects we were talking about that's not James Gunn. And Zachary Levi said, I'm sticking around, we're going to see, I talked to James, going to be fine. And he's another one of those people that are kind of like, we're going to see what happens once the movie comes out. Of course, talk about, Aquaman sticking around. That's what he says. Maybe he's not. I don't know. James Momoa is saying that, but I don't know what's going to happen with Jason Momoa. Who knows? So what do you think? I'm going to go with Rachel on this first. What do you think? Did you like the trailer? And do you think that Zachary Levi is going to have a chance to stick around playing this character now under James Gunn?
I definitely like the trailer. I thought it was really exciting. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the whole band of ragtag teenagers takes being super people.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's going to be more films after this. I think they're just kind of end it here, call it a day for Shazam. They got 2 good movies out of it. It took like 5 years between the 2 films, I feel like.
Took so long.
I don't think there's going to be any more longevity out of that series going forward. But I think it's good that they're at least letting this go to theaters and have a chance.
Yeah, they're letting it happen. And the thing is, though, to me, this kind of seems like it's James Gunn's world, too. There's comedy. Mm-hmm. The superheroes seem like they're funny. Zachary Levi can be great. So to me, it seems like, especially watching this new trailer, they're leaning into the comedy more, but they're also showing how badass he can be. Like I said, that whole sequence where he's fighting the dragon at the end is really cool. To me, I'm like, please don't be like the last thing at the end. Please let that be a villain in the beginning, but it probably is like the big bad at the end because they love doing that shit in all these trailers, especially DC. I feel like they give away a lot in these. But to me, I'm like, this seems, to me, out of all the actors, I thought he maybe could stand a chance because it is the comedy. It leans into that, like you said, that ragtag kind of group, which James Gunn kind of gravitates towards in all of his projects. Look at Suicide Squad, the ragtag group coming of villains. Look at the Guardians. It makes sense to me that he would be like, let's keep this going. Sabrina, you saw this. What do you think? Do you think that this is going to be it, just like Rachel, when this is done? This will be the last thing with Shazam. Goodbye to Zachary Levi. Or do you think that James Gunn's going to be like, hell yeah, bring on that Shazam? Did you like the trailer?
I didn't love it. I'm sorry. I did not love the trailer. Like, I love Helen Mirren and I love Lucy Liu. She was a badass in Kill Bill, and Helen Mirren is just like certified badass at all times, and I love that. I wanted to like it more than I did. Like, I was like, oh fuck, Helen Mirren, oh Lucy Liu, but then I watched it twice and I was just like, Like, I love Zachary Levi. I like the first Shazam. I love Zachary Levi. He was great in Marvelous Miss Maisel. He was great in Chuck. Like, he's a really good actor. And I love the first Shazam. But
good old Chuck. You ever watch Chuck?
What?
He was Chuck. That was his show, right? Chuck.
Yeah, that's what I said. He was great in Chuck. Yeah, of course. He was. I don't know. He was great in the first one. I think the charm in the first one was him finding himself, him finding the power, seeing what to do with it. And then I think that was part of why it was so good. But now they're already there, and I understand they're probably going to still be trying to figure things out. But from the trailer made it look like there is much more adult than there is child. Which I don't know how I feel about it. Honestly, I don't. I hope it's good because I like him and I like the first movie. And the premise is adorable. But I wasn't floored with the trailer, if I'm being honest.
to me, it could be, to me, I get excited about it a little bit more. I actually got more excited when I saw it. So I'm like, okay, now he's going to have this inner struggle. Like, do I need these powers? Am I good enough for these powers? And they're saying, no, we gave these to you for a reason. It's hard to find somebody, which again, when we go into Black Adam, which is not coming back for more, they dealt with that a lot in that movie too. Like, who is actually worthy of having these powers? And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson actually wasn't worthy, but he got to have the powers, and look at the destruction it caused and the problems it caused. So like, to give these powers to somebody means a lot. And to me, Zachary Levi's character seems like it makes sense and it works for him. So I'm like, yeah, I think that inner struggle could be fun. I think it could be great. Now, the thing is though, will this line up with what they're going to do? That's the question. At the end of the day, Rachel's saying they'll probably stop. Sabrina's like, I'm not sure about this. But if it lines up somehow, Shazam, I'm going to put it out there, has never been involved with the DCU at all. He's kind of been in his own world. They showed Superman, but they only showed Superman from his head down. They didn't show his face ever. It was his neck down. So they could be any Superman. It could be any character that it could blend in with. You know, he didn't even show up in Black Adam, which I thought he would. So, I mean, Black Adam could be anybody. So with that out there, Rachel, do you think that him not being connected at all, do you think that could lead to, you know, James Gunn being like, well, maybe I could keep him around?
I still just don't see it. I still think that they were lucky to get a sequel. It's not like he's a Spider-Man or a Batman or one of those big marquee name heroes. I think he's kind of a more obscure hero that was kind of lucky to get two to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. And it took so long for this sequel on top of that. It took years, and it's like, you know, waiting to see what happens. And now with the whole DCU thing, I thought maybe it wouldn't even come out. And, you know, they're talking about, you know, I'm gonna have meetings with James Gunn and all that, and it's going to be great. And even that, it's like the movie's not out yet. So like, I don't think they're going to make any kind of announcement until after it's done. Cause why would you? You don't want to, we talked about yesterday, you don't want to tank the box office for this.
Right.
You know, that's always an issue. Now, Sabrina, okay, now you know that it's not connected. They have never connected it at all. What about you? Do you think that, you're James Gunn, you're looking around, you like this guy's fun, he's lighthearted, he's joking around, he seems to really enjoy the industry, and he's a good actor, a good person. James Gunn said in an interview, as long as you're a good actor and you're great on set, I would love to have you in a movie. Do you think that'll leave some like weight on his mind to be like, maybe I should keep him as Shazam?
I mean, I honestly think that the superhero Shazam is probably not gonna show up again, like in his DC plan. Like, I don't think that there is a place for Shazam. And part of the reason is because it's not really connected, you know, as much. So I think if he does want to delve into like that aspect of the stories in the comics, like, I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon. Like, he's laying out a 10-year plan, and I think he's going to start with the Superman stuff and like go with like Rachel was saying, the marquee type heroes. And like, by the time they would get to an offshoot of something like that, I think it would be way down the line, and Zachary Levi might be a little too old to play the part at that point. You know what I mean? I do, like I said, I love him. I loved his performance. I had zero expectations when I saw the first movie, and I was like, that was great. Like, I was so much fun. You know, I don't know how I feel about this trailer, but I agree wholeheartedly with Rachel moving forward. I think this is probably going to be it.
But there's also the fact that this movie is a time jump too. They're saying they're jumping forward in time, so it's not like right after the movie. A little bit of time's come by, and now Atlas is coming down. It's like they're trying to make some time in between, which makes me think that maybe he's an older Shazam now. They haven't really said like how that's going to work or why that's going to work. Do you think if they make him older, Sabrina, do you think that would kind of help make it tie in somehow? Or do you think that you really just think that he's just done? That's it.
I know you're really trying to get me to say something that I'm not going to say. It's not going to happen. Like,
I'm trying to fold.
I've given you all I have. He's lovely. I wish that there was more work for him. Maybe James Gunn will put him somewhere else. I don't know. But I just, like, Shazam is himself. Like, that hero is like one of the very much lesser known superheroes. You know, it's like, it's just, I just don't see that being what they're going to sink their teeth into for this whole new regime of DC. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, he's not going to be a leader by any point. Like The Rock wanted to be the face of the DCU and all that. And that, I don't know how that would have worked either. Rachel, did you see Black Adam by any chance?
I didn't.
Okay.
It just,
I just want to say, yeah.
it got like no advertising. I barely knew it came out.
I know, that's the thing. And now you can watch on HBO Max, and it was so fast it came to streaming, and that's always a bad sign too. But these worlds
If
connect.
you like slow motion, please tune in. If you don't watch it.
Yeah. And I will say that there's a lot of slow-mo. Yeah, you would think that Zack Snyder directed that movie. There's so much slow motion. But like they did tie in a little bit, so maybe that also kills it. They did tie, I guess, very minimalist. It was like the same person who gave Black Adam powers gave Shazam powers. Same actor, same character. So maybe that would be a reason alone to be like, we're not going to do this. Honestly, I'm pulling for you, Zachary Levi, but I can't. The more I think about it, I kind of agreed. Like what's the point? Like, really, what's the point?
Yeah, we changed your mind.
Yeah, like what's the point? Like, honestly, like he's been around, but he's not. Again, maybe the not being connected thing is actually hurting him more than anything else, because no one's seen him do anything else besides that one movie. And then they greenlit this second movie before Zaslav took over, before there was the changing of guards, before the Discovery, merger. So the fact that it all happened beforehand, the people came in, Zaslav's probably like not sold on him, and you've already invested so much money, so you got to release the movie, right? If you don't release the movie, what's the point? Then again, Batgirl they didn't do that with, but this costs a lot more than Batgirl. So it's one of those things. We release it, get it done, make our money, and say goodbye. And do you think, let me ask Rachel one more thing before we get out of here. So Rachel, I want to talk about like an actor thing for a second. So what do you think it would feel like? Okay, you're booked in this big movie, right? And you've done a couple and you think you're all good to go. And all of a sudden the changing of guard comes. Do you stay positive? Like Zachary Levi's been like, I'm coming back. It's going to be great. Or do you just like forfeit and be like, that's it, guys. I guarantee life's changing. I'm done. But, goodbye.
I think you kind of have to stay positive for your own like mental well-being. You kind of just have to be like, all right, it probably won't happen, but I'm just going to blindly believe and will it into the universe that I will keep this job. Especially if you're like kind of that like mid-tier like actor, like for Shazam.
Yeah, and of course he wants it so bad, but you see everything crumbling around you. How do you expect to like you're saying, like that mid-tier range, how do you expect that you're going to stay out of everybody? They just fired fucking Superman like that. You know what I mean? You think you're fine? You're already a B-level Superman as it is. I hate to tell him that, but he is. He really is in a lot of ways. So unfortunately, he'll probably go the wayside like everybody else. Watch the trailer, everybody. It's still a fun trailer. Hopefully the movie's a fun swan song for him. And, maybe he will come back, maybe in some world, but I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I was polling for him. Somebody had to poll for him in this show. So I was polling for him. But end of the day, he'll probably be gone like everybody else.